Right now on News 3 Now this morning, it is the first snowfall of the season, and it came in overnight. We're live with team coverage ahead.
Plus, we're talking about a controversial wheel tax for Madison residents and whether it might move forward. Straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on a very snowy October 29th. I'm Josh Breiter.
Along with Leah Lynchide, I am glad to be back for the first time in a couple of weeks.
We're happy to have you back.
Now, we are going to begin this morning with the weather. As you might have noticed, it's a bit snowy outside. We begin with team coverage of that snow. Keely Arthur is tracking the road conditions out there, but we're going to start right away with Miss Hattie McLean and her alert day forecast. Hattie?
Yeah, it is an alert day still for this morning. Even though the snow has come to an end, this is what greeted me when I entered the parking lot here at the station. Look at all that snow on the news cars that were parked outside overnight. Measured 3 inches of snow. So you're going to have to plan some extra time to clean off the car if you park outside this morning. Again, it is snow, not ice. Now, winter weather advisories have been canceled early for southern Wisconsin. Originally, they were in effect until 7. Since the snow ended so quickly this morning, those have been canceled early. And again, here's a look at the snow that moved through the area. Still cloudy here in Madison, but already some clearing taking place to the west. So good news, we're going to get some sunshine through the day today, and that will help that snow melt a little bit later on this afternoon. But you'll still want to bundle up. Take a look at our current temperatures. With clouds here in Madison, it's 31, 34 in Janesville. But to the west, temperatures are still dropping. 30 in Mineral Point, 27 in Platteville, as well as Prairie du Chien. There may be some slippery spots on the roads this morning. Here in Madison, on my way into work, they were slushy. But with those temperatures dropping below freezing, again, they may turn a little slippery. Take a look at your temperature trend over the next 12 hours. We're not going to move too far today, only to highs in the upper 30s. Now, if you're interested, we should be topping in the 50s still this late in October. So we are well below normal today. Let's get a look at those first alert traffic maps this morning. We'll show you what's happening on the roads. And again, keep in mind, roads are wet, snow covered in some spots, so take it easy. No major issues to report, though, here in Madison. We'll zoom the map out a little bit to show you our entire area. Travel still looking good on the interstate. No major issues to report on any of those roads heading into Madison. Let's send it over to Keely, rather. She is actually out on the road. She can tell us what she's seen. Good morning, Keely.
Good morning, Hattie. Yes, and I'm actually near you guys. I am on Raymond Road right now, traveling back toward the station, not to the station. We're going to hang out on the roads for quite a bit. It is a little slick out here, as you can imagine, because of the snow, but certainly no snow-covered roads. Now, I spoke with the Madison Streets Department just around midnight last night. They said they didn't do any pre-treating ahead of this storm because they were worried that it was going to rain and wash away all that salt and sand if that were to happen. Roads in Madison looking okay, but you're taking a closer look at the situation in our broader viewing area. No snow-covered roads there either, but we are seeing some slippery conditions highlighted in pink outside of Madison, including east of us on I-94 near Lake Mills and Johnson Creek, 151 near Sun Prairie up to Columbus, and then west of us near Dodgeville into Dubuque. As you heard Hattie say, it's going to get warmer as the sun comes up, so hopefully those conditions will rapidly improve, but you still need to be careful as you head out for your morning commute. It is the first snowfall, so a few reminders. Make sure to give people some extra space as you're driving and give yourself some extra time because it could be a little slow out here. And here to talk about how unprecedented this is and maybe show you a little bit how to embrace the snow is our Chris Reese. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Keely. Good morning. You know, 3 inches of snow is not something I'm used to mentioning in October, but nonetheless, we have 3 inches of fresh snow on the ground this morning. I've been out measuring here at Elver Park, but I'm not the only one outside. We've got some other snowbirds out here on the hill. I think they're working out with sleds behind them. In fact, you can see the sled tracks going up towards the hill. We've been watching those folks out here for at least the last half an hour. But a lot of folks have been asking the question, you know, how often do we see a snow like this or really snow at all in October? Well, snow in October that's fairly common. Oddly enough, we do average about a 1/4 inch of snow for the month of October as a whole. Now, that's the average, because some Octobers you don't get any snow, and other Octobers you end up with more snow. This October is going to be like the latter. Again, 3 inches on the ground. Now, normally we do not see our first inch of snowfall until November 27th. So we are well above or ahead of the pace, if you will, by getting 3 inches of snow on October 28th and into the 29th. Our average first trace of snow comes October 27th. So to see some snow around this time of the year, that's normal, just not this much. But then Halloween. We're watching another chance for some snow, and the record snowfall for Halloween is 3.2 inches. So we have seen this amount of snow in October before. It's not unheard of, but it is rare. You get a rare treat. That's what I'm going to call it, a treat, as we head towards the big holiday, if you will, coming up on Thursday.
Chris Reese has been waiting for this snow since the last time it snowed, right, Chris?
I've been waiting since April for the last snow. Yes, seriously.
That's what we thought. All right, Chris and Hattie and Keely, thank you very much. We will, of course, continue to keep an eye on this first snow of the season throughout the morning.
And this just in from the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. About 1,200 people in Middleton are in the dark right now while utility crews work to repair a damaged power line. Middleton police got reports of a line arcing near the intersection of Century Avenue and Branch Street around 3 o'clock this morning. MG&E has since found the problem but had to shut off the power to fix it. They estimate power should be back on by about 8:15 this morning. Police could not say whether the arcing was weather related.
So even though this snow seems early and sudden, street teams say they've already been preparing. Madison's Streets Division says they start getting ready for winter weather in October, so they're good to go in case this snow does bring some slick roads. Although they don't expect much snow to stick because of these warmer temperatures, they say this storm is a good chance to brush up on your winter weather routine.
This is a good storm to kind of get your feet wet with winter again, relearn all those winter driving techniques, drive a little slower, giving yourself a little bit more time to get there.
Now, there aren't any school delays because of the snow right now, meaning there will be plenty of buses making their way through the slush this morning. Lammer's Bus Lines over in Wanakee says their school buses are winterized and drivers are ready for the season.
Parents really need to know where the buses they're built like tanks, and they don't realize that a bus weighs almost 40,000 pounds, so they go through the snow very, very easily.
Still, the bus company is asking drivers to give school buses everywhere a bit more space this morning. You just saw our Keely Arthur and Chris Reese. We're going to continue to check in with them with the latest on road conditions and to explain why we're getting so much snow this early.
Commuters and highway crews around the state are all stocked up this morning, prepared for whatever conditions they're waking up to today. Rows of neatly hung shovels and piles of sidewalk salt are available at hardware stores to those trying to get a head start on the first snow of the season. But snow isn't just affecting driveways and sidewalks, it's also affecting construction.
We're patching 94 with a liquid asphalt, filling in some of those potholes that are still giving us problems from last winter.
Crews with the Waukesha County Highway Department tried to do some last-minute construction and pothole filling along I-94 before the snow, but the weather is sidelining work for at least another week. Busy areas of the interstate are salted, but be prepared for some slushy spots out on the roads.
Before we head to break this morning, I wanted to take a minute and thank everyone for their support over these past couple of weeks. As you might have heard, I lost my brother in a car accident about 2 weeks ago now, and that forever changed the lives of me and my family. First and foremost, I have to thank you, Josh and Susan, for holding down the fort here and for always checking in with me, making sure I'm okay, because as you can imagine, it's just been the roughest 2 weeks for me and my parents. And this News 3 Now family has really stepped up and taken care of me.
We've certainly missed you. There's been a hole in the newsroom, but we know that you needed to be with your family, and you are loved, your family is loved, and you've got the support of everyone here and really all of Wisconsin behind you, and we just want you to know that.
I do have to thank all of Southern Wisconsin as well. Because of your support, a scholarship in Levi's name is up to more than $14,000 just on the GoFundMe account this morning. That, of course, doesn't include all of the kind notes you all have sent to my family. Truly, from the bottom of my heart and from my parents' hearts, we thank you. We love you. And Levi, we will continue to live like you. We'll be right back.
This
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio, which is all covered in snow this morning. Even the pumpkins have a dusting of snow on them. I guess more than a dusting. Measured about 3 inches of snow here in the backyard weather patio, and anywhere from 1 to 3 inches fell overnight across southern Wisconsin. The snow has come to an end, but an alert day is still in the forecast for this morning. Take a look at the snow-covered trees that greeted me as I came into work this morning. Everything is covered in snow, and some of those trees that still have leaves may be getting a little heavy. It was kind of a wet, heavy snow that fell overnight. Now, here's a look at the alert day for this morning. The snow has pretty much come to an end, but with this new snow on the ground, you have to remember those winter driving skills pretty quickly this morning. Roads are a little slushy and wet, and they could be slippery in some spots as temperatures dip below the freezing point. So keep in mind, plan extra time to get to your destination early today. Again, on the radar map, really the snow coming to an end. I have a few snowflakes flying here in the backyard weather patio, but that's more likely snow that's blowing off the trees at this point. Nothing happening all around us. Things are pretty quiet, so we'll actually turn towards partly sunny skies through the day today. Skies are expected to clear. We're already seeing some clearing taking place across parts of Minnesota and Iowa. But the one thing that is certain is it's going to be cold, especially with this little bit of snow on the ground. Feels pretty chilly this morning with temperatures down at 31 here in Madison. You can tell where that cold front sits even without putting it on the map early this morning. It's still 50 in Detroit. We have 37 in Chicago. It drops to 27 in Des Moines, and only teens as you get into the Dakotas this morning. So lots of cold air on the map. Here's a closer look at southern Wisconsin. It's dropped now to 26 in the Dells, 30 in Mineral Point, down to 25 in Boscobel, and 27 in Prairie du Chien. So a chilly start where temperatures are below freezing, especially west of Dane County. That's where the roads might be pretty slippery early today. Skies will continue to clear out from west to east as we head towards the afternoon. Plan on a chilly day, though. Even with the sunshine today, we'll only climb into the upper 30s to around 40 degrees, well below normal for this time of the year. Clouds are expected to return to the area tonight. There's a slight chance for some light snow overnight. Chances for precipitation, though, really increase later on Wednesday. That next storm system will again bring some snow to southern Wisconsin. The latest forecast models bringing it in a little bit earlier. So it looks like that snow will start late Wednesday evening and continue into Halloween Thursday. So Thursday is an alert day for us as well. It's going to be very cold through the end of the week. Highs only in the mid-30s on Thursday and Friday. At least we have some sunshine, though, back in the forecast and dry weather this weekend. Don't forget, daylight saving time ends early Sunday morning, so we get an extra hour of sleep Saturday night. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic report this morning. We'll send it over to Jason Stone this time for all the details. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. No issues on the Beltline. Only minor crowding has started at the Stoughton and Verona interchanges. Expect slippery stretches on Highway 151 from the interstate up through Columbus and on I-94 east from Lake Mills. Otherwise, routes into Madison and Dane County are good to go. And no setbacks for commuters heading downtown as they're able to navigate around the Isthmus and campus without trouble. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Jason and Hattie, thank you both very much. It is 6:16 right now. Happening tonight, we could find out whether you'll have to pay an extra $40 to register your car next year.
Madison's Common Council is taking up the controversial wheel tax proposal after the Finance Committee passed it last week. That committee did add an amendment that would try to offset the cost of the fee for low-income residents by offering a reimbursement for people in the WIC program. City leaders say the fee is needed to balance the budget. The city needs to pass that wheel tax by the end of the month in order for it to go into effect in February.
More local news now. The Madison School Board is working to re-examine its zero-tolerance policy surrounding the N-word. This update comes after a black security guard was fired for telling a student not to call him the N-word. Board President Gloria Reyes brought it up at a meeting last night, saying the board and administration care deeply about having a school district that is anti-racist. A board member commented, saying the community struggles with having these conversations about race. Knowing that, members said we all need to understand the roots of the racial slurs we're talking about.
And in those social institutions, this N-word was used to inflict white supremacist terror and violence, and we need to have a real conversation about how that manifests itself in our city and in our school district.
I appreciate the acknowledgement that we need to consider context and circumstance and move away from zero tolerance. We've made a commitment to do this for our youth because we've realized that zero tolerance leads to negative outcomes for children.
Now, there isn't a written policy regarding the N-word, and members don't seem to want to formally introduce a zero-tolerance approach. However, they said they want to make it clear hate speech is not a welcome part of Madison schools.
Parents and students in the Oregon School District now know who their new superintendent will be. Dr. Leslie Bergstrom is a longtime educator and administrator. She currently serves as the deputy superintendent at that district. She will succeed Dr. Brian Bussler, who's retiring at the end of the school year after serving his district for 14 years.
And as the school district expands, we're learning what the schools will be known as in Sun Prairie. The Sun Prairie School Board approved recommendations for high school nicknames yesterday. The current high school will become the Sun Prairie East Cardinals. In 2022, the Sun Prairie West Wolves will be the second high school in the city. The new Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School will be the Huskies. The $164 million referendum on the construction passed in April.
Crews with Madison Gas and Electric are set to break ground on a new solar project. We're talking about the Maury Field project, set to be constructed at the Middleton Airport. This will be the second field in MG&E's shared solar program. It's going to serve both the Middleton Cross Plains School District as well as the city of Middleton. The groundbreaking ceremony is open to the public. It's scheduled to start just after 11 this morning.
6:19 right now. So far, more than 200,000 people have been evacuated because of the wildfires that continue to spread across California. Just ahead, we're hearing from those impacted by the fires and how over 2 million more could be impacted this weekend.
Back in Wisconsin, you're taking a live look at what your morning commute is going to look like on this October 29th. Yes, that is snow. Our team coverage of the first snow of the season will continue next on News 3 Now this morning.
We are out here at Elver Park. Parts of Madison picked up more than 3 inches of snow overnight, but this is perhaps not the only October snowfall we'll see. Hattie McLean will have the latest forecast in just a moment.
And thanks, Chris. You're right. We do have another storm system coming in on Thursday. But let's first get through the one that occurred overnight. We have snow blanketing the entire area. If you parked your car outside, you're going to want to plan a little extra time, extra couple of minutes, not to clear ice, but to clear snow. About 3 inches of snow on top of the cars here at the station on the west side of town. So this morning is still an alert day for the area. Again, 1 to 3 inches of snow on the ground for southern Wisconsin. The roads are wet and in some spots slushy, and even some slick roads have been reported, so plan a little extra time to get to your destination. Now, the snow has come to an end. It was heavy for a time overnight, a brief time that is. Skies are still cloudy here in Madison. Skies are actually clearing, though, to the west, so we'll see some sunshine for the day today. Temperatures under those clearing skies are now dropping into the mid-20s, so a little chilly in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien this morning. Still holding at 31 here in Madison. Either way, though, wherever you are this morning, you'll want to bundle up. It is a little chilly outside. Temperatures will climb back into the mid-30s by lunchtime, so recess outside. Definitely want the hat and mittens today. Highs only at 38 degrees as you head home from school. And that's your bus stop forecast.
All right. Thank you very much, Hattie. As we are looking at that snow, it's a very different story over on the West Coast. Breaking overnight, California firefighters say they don't expect to have the Kincaid fire contained until next week, and flames might not be out for weeks, if not months. Take a look at this video. So far, the fire has burned an area twice the size of nearby San Francisco. Down south in Los Angeles, the Getty fire is sweeping through some of the country's most expensive neighborhoods. More than 1,100 firefighters tried to contain that fire from the ground and the air.
They were literally overwhelmed. They had to make some tough decisions on which houses they were able to protect.
It was really scary because I thought, what if the fire could catch on our house?
The state's utility companies say they could cut power to around 2 million people up and down the coast to prevent more fires. So far, more than 200,000 people have been evacuated.
Uber is trying to help the people being forced to evacuate from the fires by offering free rides. Those impacted can get 2 free rides up to $20 each to and from evacuation areas in Los Angeles and Sonoma counties.
To sports now, the Houston Astros and Washington Nationals are facing off in Game 6 of the World Series tonight. Houston just 1 game away from winning it all. On the mound for the Astros will be Justin Verlander, and for the Nationals, Steven Strasburg. Good luck to both of them. All right, still ahead this morning, we have the top 3 things you need to know on your Tuesday as you head out the door.
And we're keeping a good look at the roads this morning after some snowfall overnight. And we are having an update to breaking news this morning as 1,200 people in Middleton are without power because of that snow on some power lines. We're going to have a live update coming up next when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for staying with us on this Tuesday, October 29th. I'm Leah Linshine.
And I'm Josh Breider. We'll get to a very snowy forecast with Miss Meteorologist Hattie McLean in just a little bit, and we'll also have team coverage of the first snowfall of the season. But first, let's get to 3 other things you need to know this morning. We could find out tonight whether you'll have to pay an extra $40 to register your car next year. Madison's Common Council is taking up the controversial wheel tax proposal after the Finance Committee passed it last week. City leaders say the fee is needed to balance the budget. If the tax is passed by the end of the month, it would go into effect in February.
The second story we're following this morning, a top Ukraine expert is scheduled to testify in the impeachment inquiry today. Alexander Vindman listened in on the July phone call between the president and Ukrainian leader Zelensky and reportedly plans to say he was so troubled by it, he reported it to a superior. The House is also scheduled to hold its first full vote on the inquiry later this week.
And to the Bucks, who are now over 500 on the season after last night's win at home against the Cavaliers. The Bucks needed a win after their loss to Miami in their home opener over the weekend. Madison native Wesley Matthews arguably had the highlight of the night, and it didn't even count. His basket was waved off after a foul call. But it didn't even matter if it counted. Final score against the Cavaliers, 129-112.
Those are the top 3 things we're following today. Miss Hattie McLean following the first snow of the season out there, Hads.
That's right, Leah and Josh. This is what the parking lot looked like as I arrived into work earlier today. Look at those news cars just coated in snow. About 3 inches of snow fell here in the Madison area. So plan some extra time to clean off your car. Also plan a little extra time to get to your destination. Again, 1 to 3 inches of snow on the ground early this morning. It's still an alert day through the morning hours. Roads are slushy and may even be slick as temperatures drop below the freezing point. And this is what I'm talking about. 31 in Madison, down now to 25 in the Dells, 25 in Boscobel. Prairie du Chien just in the last couple of minutes has dropped to 26. Temperatures are coldest in the west because skies are already clearing. So it will be a chilly, cold start to the day, but with some sunshine, the snow will be melting for the afternoon. Here's a look at your forecast as you head out the door. Everything's white early this morning. Temperatures, though, will climb a little bit above the freezing point today to a high of 38 degrees. Again, more sunshine for the second part of the day. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps now. We're not seeing any major issues, but there are some slowdowns starting to form on the Beltline right around Stoughton Road. Looks a little slow on the Beltline around Verona Road as well. No other accidents to report right now, but Keely Arthur is out on the roads. Let's send it over to her to get a condition on those roads this morning.
Good morning, Hattie. Well, it is not even Halloween yet, but drivers this morning are going to be in for a trick or a treat, really depending on how much you like the snow. Some slick, slippery conditions out here as we're on University, kind of headed toward the downtown campus area. Now, I spoke with the Madison Streets Department just around midnight last night. They said they decided not to pre-treat the city streets because they were worried there was going to be rain ahead of the snow, and any of that sand/salt pre-treatment would just wash away. However, no snow on the roads right now, so things are looking good and should shape up as it becomes sunnier out later today. Let's take a look at our broader viewing area right now. No snow-covered roads, but we are seeing some slippery conditions highlighted in pink here outside of Madison, including east of us on I-94 near Lake Mills and Johnson Creek, 151 near Sun Prairie and Columbus, and then west of us near Dodgeville all the way in to Dubuque. So anyone watching this, follow the golden rule. Give your drivers extra time, give yourself a little bit of extra space. Obviously a bit of a learning curve with the latest snow. And to talk about how maybe unprecedented and how early this snow is Chris.
Hello, Keely. Good morning. And good morning to all of you guys at home as well. Believe it or not, we got about 3 inches of snow last night, and I'm going to measure this right now just so all of us can see it. We're at Over Park right now, but I'm taking the yardstick. We're going to put that right on down, and we stop right at the 3-inch mark. So that's about how much snow we've got out there, and maybe there could be more as we head through the week. Now, snowfall in October is not completely unprecedented. Oddly enough, October averages about 2/10 of an inch of snowfall per year. So we expect to see some snow in October. 3 inches of snow? Now that is a different story. On average, our first flakes of snow arrive by the time we get you towards October 27th. But our first inch of snow doesn't normally arrive until we get you towards November 27th. So we're a little bit earlier. And the fact that we could see more snow this week, that is cool, folks. In fact, the record snowfall for Halloween is 3.2 inches. So we've seen about 3 inches of snow in the month of October before. This is rare, but not unheard of. Now, with another snow chance on Halloween, we've been talking about that in the weather department, I've decided I'm going as a snow angel for my Halloween costume. So we're gonna get some practice in right now. I wanna see everyone snow angels as we go through this week, folks. Everybody's gotta make a snow angel. You gotta do one. I made one earlier, and why have one snow angel when you can have 2 snow angels? So we're making another one out here right now. We'll see which one is better. I'm still going. I'm practicing. I got to get my practice in by the time we get you towards Thursday.
Oh, boy.
Let's go ahead and check that snow angel out. Ooh, I like that one better.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I got a little mud action going on the back of my boots there. I'll be making a trip to the dry cleaners, but things are looking good, folks. I know it's October, and to talk about snow in October, it's just one of those things where it's like, really? Come on. But we're going to take this one in stride. Let's have some fun with this. Mother Nature's just going as winter for Halloween. She's got to get ready.
Chris Reese in his element. I know, Chris, you've been dreaming about this for months, since last winter, really.
Yes. Well, since April when it last snowed. So for half a year, I've been waiting for this moment right here, and this is where we are.
Well, embrace your inner Chris Reese today, folks.
It is here, yeah. You got to be positive about it. It is Wisconsin. All right, Keely and Chris, and of course, Hattie, our team coverage this morning. Thank you guys for keeping us updated.
All right, we have an update now to breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Crews in Middleton say the power outages there are because of the snow we're seeing this morning. They're down to just a couple dozen from 1,200 earlier this morning. Utility crews are still working to repair a damaged power line along Century Avenue. Power should be completely restored just after 8 this morning. All right, 6:36 on your Tuesday. Coming up in the morning sprint, we are going to hear from Facebook employees on their company's stance on political speech.
But before we go to break, here's another live look out on the roads this morning as we're waking up after the first snowfall of the season. A few inches fell across the Madison Metro, making for some slushy spots out there, so you're going to want to give yourself some extra time and take it slow. Keep updated with News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back at 6:39. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and we've got one to share with you all this morning. So there's a picture of Keely Arthur along with one of our producers, Ari. She does our 4:30 and 5 o'clock show, and of course myself. Over the weekend, we took a Bar 3 class in Madison where the proceeds went to the Live Like Levi scholarship, and we found out yesterday $1,000 was raised just over the weekend for that effort. Of course, you heard from Leah earlier, over $14,000 so far has been raised.
Oh yeah, both Keely and I work at Bar 3 as instructors in our downtime, and that community has really stepped up. Our Bar 3 family has stepped up, as you guys have as well here at News 3 Now. So again, my family couldn't be prouder to be from this area, and we couldn't be more thankful for your support, because this is what it is. This is what it means to live like Levi. He loved fitness. It would mean the world to him as well.
And I'm super sore from this still.
That's what I like to hear.
2 days and I can barely walk. So it was just a fun event to be a part of, and I'm happy that we are able to do some more work for Levi.
Thank you for doing that.
You betcha. All right, 6:41 is your time right now. Around the state, there are a lot of great small cities to visit and to live in, and now one of them is getting recognized nationally.
Oh yeah, Wallet Hub compared more than 1,200 U.S. cities with populations between 25,000 and 100,000 people, and they found that Brookfield is the 8th best small city in America. The study looked at things like housing costs, school system quality, and restaurants per capita. Number 1 is actually in Kansas, Leawood there. No other Wisconsin city made the top 20. Huh.
At least we got one in there.
Yeah, Brookfield, nice little town. All right, there may be snow on the ground this morning, but we're still excited to celebrate Halloween in a couple of days.
I know, I've got the snowman socks on. I got a little excited.
The pumpkin socks, not the pumpkin socks this week?
I had to break it out for the snow.
That's fair.
But this new photo from NASA shows a Halloween decoration that is out of this world. Just check this out. The U.S. Space Agency released this photo of the sun that seems to look like a jack-o'-lantern. Now, according to NASA, this spooky coincidence was caused by active regions of the sun, which just so happened to line up and resemble a jack-o'-lantern.
Look at it. It does look like a face, doesn't it?
It does. It's kind of a little creepy.
A little spooky this early in the morning when it's still dark out.
Yeah, it looks like one of the Halloween horror movie pumpkins that shows in the credits.
I'll take it though. I'd rather be talking about Halloween than snow on the ground.
It's too soon for that.
A little too soon.
A little taste though. All right, we're gonna check back in with Keely Arthur to see how the roads are looking in this first snow. Keely?
Hi, Josh and Leah. Yes, we are cruising around the Capitol here in downtown Madison. Road conditions looking pretty good overall. No snow on the road, but things are certainly wet. We are tracking all the snow-related news. Stay with us. News 3 Now will be right back.
Look
6:45 on a Tuesday morning.
Now that's a scary sight.
A little snow on the pumpkin. Usually we're talking about frost on the pumpkin this time of the year.
This is an eerie Halloween, if you ask me.
It really is.
Oh my goodness.
We got spooked, Tads. What's going on out there?
More tricks than treats, right? In that case, we do have fresh snow on the ground. The first accumulating snow of the season. Take a look. Some more snow totals coming in, so I've updated this list. Madison, WIC actually going down on the list as some of those other cities come in with more than 3 inches of snow. Almost 4 inches in Baraboo, 3.5 in Monroe, 3.1 in Dodgeville. Again, 3 here at the station. Drops down to about 1 inch in Lancaster. So some decent snow totals coming out of that first snowstorm of the season. Right now, though, things are pretty quiet. The snow exited just as quickly as it started late last night. So no snow falling for the state. The rest of the day will be dry, but we still have an alert day in the forecast for this morning. Keep in mind some of the roads are wet and they may be a little slippery in spots as temperatures drop below freezing. We're still falling yet this morning. Thursday is an alert day as well. We'll watch the second storm this week. This one could bring again some accumulating snow and will likely impact Halloween festivities during the evening. Here's a look at your GFS Future Track forecast model. Note the start time Wednesday at 6:30. That snow and mixed precipitation just to our south. It will lift northward as we go through the evening hours on Wednesday. So the latest forecast models bringing this precipitation in a little bit earlier, starting now Wednesday night. It will continue through the day on Thursday, but wind down Thursday evening. So Friday now looks dry. But again, that snow coming right over Halloween. The records for us here in Madison, the record snow on Halloween, 3.2 inches back in 1962. So we'll see how we compare with that record. Again, there is some snow accumulation possible. So if you're still tweaking the Halloween costumes, this is what it looks like for Halloween. Temperatures will be getting very cold. It's likely going to be windy as well. So bundle up for Thursday. Our temperatures this morning are also cold west of Madison, 28 in Platteville, 26 in Prairie du Chien. Madison has now dropped a degree. We're at 30. Take a look at your wind speeds. Calm in some spots, so there is a light northwesterly wind. No major wind chill, though, to factor in this morning. Your Future Track forecast model clears those clouds from west to east as we head towards the afternoon. So sunshine this afternoon, but still chilly. West of Madison and to the south, we'll likely see some low 40s on the map, but 38 for the high here in Madison. So definitely cooler than it should be this time of the year. Clouds spread back into the area overnight. And again, that precipitation likely holds off through most of the day on Wednesday, moving in late Wednesday night. Here's a look at your extended forecast. It stays cold through the rest of the week. A high on Thursday, just 34 degrees. Sunshine is back in the area, though, for the weekend, with temperatures getting back to 40 by Sunday. Here's our pet walk forecast. If you're walking early, a little snow on the grass, but that will be melting through the day. This is Finn and Oreo all snuggled up. I think that's the right idea this morning if you can get away with it.
For a snowy Tuesday, that's where you're going to find me in a couple of hours.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next. 6:52, time for the morning sprint with the most local news to start your Tuesday.
We have team coverage of the first snowfall of the season, starting with Miss Hattie McLean and her alert day forecast. Hattie?
It was an alert day this morning. The snow has come to an end and skies are quickly clearing to the west, but with wet roads, a little bit of slush on the roads this morning, there may be some slippery spots as well. Temperatures west of Dane County have dropped into the 20s. We're down to 30 here in Madison. So it's a chilly start to the day. Some sunshine though for the afternoon with high temperatures reaching the upper 30s later on.
Okay, stand by. Well, there is always a bit of a learning curve for drivers during the first snowfall, and this is no different. You are taking a live look of the Beltline right now. There is a bit of traffic, which can be expected for a day like today. Now, I spoke with the Madison Streets Department, who handles the streets of Madison, not the Beltline. That's the county's jurisdiction. They decided not to pre-treat the roads in Madison because they were worried rain would wash away any salt or sand. But I've been driving on Madison roads all morning long, and I can tell you the conditions there are really good. There are some slicker conditions over east of us on I-94 headed toward Milwaukee, and then also east and west of us both ways on 151. Remember, follow the golden rule, give yourself some extra space, some extra time, and be safe. Chris?
You know, having 3 inches of snow in October is rare, but it is not unheard of. In fact, Halloween 1962, you did get 3.2 inches of snow, which is the record for snowfall on Halloween. So with more snow expected this Halloween, of course, we're gonna be watching that date closely. But we normally don't see our first inch of snow until November 27th. Our first trace of snow is typically October 27th. So one thing is for sure, we are ahead of schedule with today's snowfall.
Thank you very much, Chris. Breaking this morning, the Labour Party is expected to back a snap general election today, confirming that Brits will head to the polls before Christmas. This comes as Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he will drop his Brexit deal for now in exchange for that early election.
We could find out as soon as tonight whether you'll have to pay an extra $40 to register your car next year. Madison's Common Council is taking up the controversial wheel tax proposal after the Finance Committee passed it last week. City leaders say the fee is needed to balance the budget. If the tax is passed by the end of the month, it would go into effect in February.
Crews with Madison Gas and Electric are set to break ground on a new solar project. We're talking about the Maury Field project going up at the Middleton Airport. This will be the second field in MG&E's shared solar program serving parts of Middleton. The groundbreaking ceremony starts this morning, just after 11.
Parents and students in the Oregon School District now know who their new superintendent will be. Dr. Leslie Bergstrom is a longtime educator and administrator. She currently serves as the deputy superintendent at that district. She will succeed Dr. Brian Bussler, who is retiring at the end of the school year after serving the district for more than 14 years.
The Sun Prairie School Board is approving mascot names for their new schools as that district expands. The current high school will become the Sun Prairie East Cardinals. Then in 2022, the Sun Prairie West Wolves will be the second high school in that city. The new Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School will be the Huskies. The $164 million referendum on construction for that district passed back in April.
I appreciate the acknowledgement that we need to consider context and circumstance and move away from zero tolerance.
The Madison School Board working to re-examine their zero-tolerance policy surrounding the N-word. This update comes after a black security guard was fired for telling a student not to call him the N-word. Now, there isn't a written policy regarding the N-word, and members don't seem to want to formally introduce a zero-tolerance approach. However, they did say that they want to make it clear hate speech is not a welcome part of Madison schools.
A top Ukraine expert is scheduled to testify in the impeachment inquiry today. Alexander Vindman listened in on the July phone call between the president and Ukrainian leader Zelensky and reportedly plans to say he was so troubled by it that he reported it to a superior. The House is also scheduled to hold its first full vote on the inquiry later this week.
Winds are expected to pick up this morning, making firefighting in California even more challenging. Crews are battling the Kincaid Fire in Northern California and the Getty Fire in Los Angeles. Flames spared the famed Getty Art Museum, but some homes were destroyed. There could be as many as 2 million more power outages for residents within the next few days.
All right, 6:56 now. Let's turn it over to Jason Stone with a look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Jason.
Hello. A disabled vehicle is blocking the right shoulder of the westbound Beltline at Rimrock, adding to the delays starting at Stoughton Road. No issues on John Nolan with average wait times at the intersections. Expect slippery stretches on Highway 151 from the interstate up through Columbus and on I-94 eastbound from Lake Mills. Be in control, slowly accelerate and brake. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thank you very much, Jason.
And a fresh blanket of white on southern Wisconsin this morning. Still quite a few clouds here in Madison. Temperatures are below the freezing point, but we will climb to highs in the upper 30s a little bit later on this afternoon. At least we'll have the sunshine, even if it's cold today.
All right, Hattie, thank you. And thank you, Leah. It's good to have you back. We missed you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the warm welcome back, and enjoy that first snowy day of the season. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.